Okay, let's unpack this. We've all been there, haven't we?
Hmm.
That universal moment at a party, a networking event, or maybe just, a new social thing, and someone inevitably asks, "So what do you do?"
Yeah,
And suddenly, your mind either goes completely blank, or you sort of stumble through a description that feels, well, a little clunky.
definitely.
Maybe you've heard or even said something like, "I'm a computer guy."
Or I'm a food person.
Right.
But what does that really tell anyone?
Exactly. Not much.
It's a truly universal experience, that little awkward pause or the fumbling. We have this real need to introduce ourselves professionally, yet we often lack the precise language maybe,
Mm.
or just the confidence to say what we do effectively,
Yes,
naturally.
yeah, naturally is the key word.
Our deep dive into communication patterns, it shows this is one of the most common stumbling blocks people face.
Absolutely. It really is. And that's basically our mission for this deep dive today. We want to equip you, our listeners, with the practical tools and, importantly, the natural expressions that our research has highlighted. We're going to help you articulate your job, your field, your core responsibilities, even what you do day to day, with clarity, with confidence, and with a flow that just feels
Right.
right.
It shouldn't feel forced.
Think of this as your shortcut, really. A way to get well informed and master those crucial social and professional interactions much faster.
And what's really fascinating here and what our sources consistently point out is that this skill, it isn't just for like formal job interviews or big networking events.
Right, it's broader than that.
It really is. It's about feeling more articulate and confident in your professional identity
Hmm.
every single day.
Okay.
So whether you're just making small talk at a casual get-together, meeting someone totally new, or even just thinking about your own career path, being able to clearly and concisely describe your work is actually quite empowering.
Okay, so let's jump in then. Our deep dive into how people effectively communicate their roles, it's really boiled down to, well, three core linguistic patterns, three key phrases, you could say. And when you understand these and apply them, they can really transform how you talk about work.
Indeed. And these aren't just, vocabulary lists.
Mm.
They are structural insights we've derived from looking at countless successful professional introductions.
Okay.
So the first powerful pattern we identified, it's simple but incredibly effective. I work in.
Yes, I work in. That's so powerful for just immediately saying your industry or your broad field, right?
Exactly. Sets the stage.
Our analysis shows it's just the fastest way to give context. You can say something broad like, I work in marketing, or maybe I work in healthcare.
Simple, clear.
It's professional, it's immediate, and it kind of bypasses any confusion. You don't need to give your whole life story or resume right away. You're just defining your domain.
And if we think about the bigger picture, it allows for a really fluid, natural conversation to follow. So, for example, rather than saying I am a marketing, which just sounds awkward,
Yeah, nobody says that.
or even I do marketing, which is okay, but a bit vague,
A bit big, yeah.
you can say, I work in education. I'm a teacher at a high school.
Mm.
See? It immediately places you within a sector before you even get to your specific role.
Ah, I see. It's like broad first, then get specific.
Exactly. Broad to specific. It's very natural flow.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So now that we've kind of set the stage with I work in, let's maybe zoom in a bit on what you actually do within that field.
Right. The specifics.
This brings us to our next powerful expression, which our deep dive highlighted, I'm in charge of.
Yeah, this addresses that key question. How do you convey what you actually do? What's your responsibility?
Mm.
And our research shows that successful communicators, they clearly articulate their direct responsibilities. I'm in charge of. Does exactly that.
Okay, give us an example.
Sure. Like, I'm in charge of social media for the company. Or maybe I'm in charge of managing the sales team. It implies ownership,
Yeah.
accountability,
Yeah.
and a clear scope of influence.
So it really emphasizes that you're the one responsible for that thing, right? Even if you're not like the big boss, the
Yeah.
CEO,
Ex-
you're definitely the point person, the boss of that particular area or project. It gives a clear sense of your scope,
Precisely. Stoop is a good word for it.
which is often what people are actually curious about when they ask.
Right. It communicates agency. Even if you're not a senior executive, you are still in charge of specific functions or projects. And this phrase clearly conveys that without sounding boastful or anything.
Yeah, it's confident but not arrogant. Okay. And then finally, our third key insight from the deep dive. My job involves
Ah, yes, this one's very useful.
This one seems incredibly useful for describing the kind of work you do, the day-to-day activities, maybe without needing to state your exact title or perhaps just adding some color to it.
What's really interesting here is how my job involves
Mm-hmm.
lets you paint a more vivid picture of your day-to-day reality at work.
Okay.
It can cover tasks, tools you use, or even the type of interactions you regularly have. So you might say, my job involves a lot of travel.
Instantly understandable.
Or, my job involves working directly with clients and solving their technical issues. It gives an immediate sort of tangible sense of your work life that goes beyond just a generic job title.
Right. That's where the real flavor of the work comes through, doesn't it? Like you could say, my job involves a lot of spreadsheet analysis, which, believe it or not,
Uh-huh.
can be very exciting for some of us.
I believe you. But yes, it provides that practical insight into the nature of the work. It allows the listener to quickly grasp what your day-to-day actually looks like.
Okay, so those are the three big ones. I work in, I'm in charge of, and my job involves.
That's the core framework.
So to maybe bring this all to life a bit more, let's listen in on a quick sample conversation. This is drawn from our deep dive into common professional interactions. Imagine two people, let's call them Sophie and Jake, meeting at some kind of networking event.
Okay.
Try and spot these phrases in action and notice how naturally they exchanged information about what they do.
Yeah, pay attention to how they sort of weave these expressions into the dialogue pretty seamlessly.
Okay, so Sophie might say, "Hi, I'm Sophie. Nice to meet you." And Jake responds, "Hey, Sophie, I'm Jake. So what do you do?"
The classic question.
And Sophie says, "I work in marketing for a tech company. I'm in charge of the digital campaigns."
Working in charge of. Bang, bang.
Then Jake says, "Cool, my job involves a lot of client meetings. I'm in sales, so I'm always talking to people."
And there's my job involves linking to his field, sales.
Sophie then asks, "That sounds interesting. Do you like it?" Jake, "Yeah, most days. What about you, Sophie?" I love the creative side. It keeps things exciting.
And seen. A very natural exchange, wouldn't you say?
Totally. Very natural.
You can clearly hear all three of our key phrases woven throughout that short chat. They provide clear, concise information, but it doesn't sound rehearsed or stiff.
No, not at all. It really highlights the power of these structures, doesn't it? Sophie immediately set the scene with, "I work in marketing for a tech company."
Yep, clean, professional.
You instantly know her field. Then she drilled down with, "I'm in charge of the digital campaigns." That gives you her specific area of responsibility. It's just so efficient.
And Jake mirrored that structure nicely with, my job involves a lot of client meetings, giving a really clear picture of his daily activities, specifically within his sales role.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't just generic titles being thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
They provide real substance, real context. And importantly, they sound authentic, not like something memorized, which is a common pitfall we often see in, let's say, less effective introductions.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? To sound not just correct, but genuinely natural and confident, like you actually understand and maybe even appreciate your own professional contribution.
Exactly. That authenticity is key.
Okay, so now let's maybe talk about how we can make some other common job expressions sound even more natural, maybe more polished. This is also based on our observations of how professionals communicate effectively.
Right. This is where we can refine things a bit further. Elevate the communication beyond just the basics. For instance, instead of saying, I have a job at a company, which is, grammatically fine.
But it sounds a bit clunky, doesn't it? A bit indirect.
It does. Our deep dive suggests the more natural, more direct, and frankly more professional phrasing is simply, I work at a company called Bright Tech.
Ah, okay. So I work at a company called Bright Tech.
Exactly. It just flows better. It's the standard professional idiom we hear most often. It's more succinct, cut straight to the point, avoids unnecessary words.
Got it. Okay, what's another one?
Well, how about if your first thought is to say, I talk to customers? Accurate maybe, but perhaps a little casual for some contexts.
Yeah, I can see that. It depends on the situation, but it could sound a bit basic.
So the more natural and, again, professional way to convey that, drawing from our insights into both formal and informal communication, is often, my job involves talking to customers.
Okay, using that, my job involves structure again.
Precisely. It immediately sounds a bit more sophisticated, more precise. It focuses on the nature of the work itself, rather than just the action.
Makes sense. Any others?
And finally, a very common one, yet still somewhat casual phrasing. I do social media.
Oh, yeah, you hear that a lot. I do marketing. I do finance.
Right. While it's understandable, it doesn't fully convey responsibility or scope sometimes.
So how would you upgrade that one based on the research?
Well, you could upgrade that to I'm in charge of social media, using our earlier phrase. Or another good one is I handle the company's social media.
Handle. I like that. It sounds capable.
It does. Do social media is fine in very casual settings, maybe with friends, but handle, or I'm in charge of, is clearer.
Hmm.
It implies that ownership we talked about, and generally sounds more, well, more professional,
Mm.
reflects a higher degree of responsibility.
Yeah, handle signifies more proactive engagement, maybe, rather than just a passive task.
That's a good way to put it. Proactive engagement.
Okay, great. So just like that, with those frameworks and refinements, you really have a whole new set of tools to articulate your professional identity with more clarity and confidence, all distilled from our deep dive into effective communication.
Exactly. We've aimed to give you really practical phrases and some refined expressions. You genuinely possess the tools now to sound more confident, more authentic when you're discussing your work, or even asking others about theirs.
So here's your actionable challenge. We always like to give one. Right now, maybe after this deep dive finishes, take a moment. Try describing your own job aloud using one of these key phrases we discussed.
Mm-hmm. Say it out loud.
Seriously, say it out loud. It makes a difference. You could even write it down first or practice in front of a mirror if that helps, just to really embed it.
And then maybe take it a step further. Initiate a short conversation with a friend or a colleague, perhaps. Ask them about their job and consciously practice using these natural expressions in a real interaction.
Good idea.
Our observations show that consistent, real-world application is absolutely key to making these feel natural and not like you're reading from a script.
Yeah, you have to use it for it to stick. And remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal here.
Absolutely.
Just keep practicing, keep applying these insights from our deep dive, and you'll find yourself sounding more natural and more confident with every conversation. You absolutely have got this.
Definitely. So as you reflect on what you've heard today, maybe consider this final thought-provoking idea. How does the clarity with which you describe your work, how does that not only influence how others perceive you, but how might it also deepen your own understanding and appreciation of your professional contributions?
Interesting angle.
It's not just about the language you use externally, it's also about the powerful narrative you craft for yourself internally, how you frame your own value,